Wait, what's he doing? I hear his keyboard. Did this guy tab out and ranked? What do you... Oh, he's smart. What's up, everyone? It's Coach Grizz here, back again with episode 3 of the Predator coaching series to help you guys improve at your ranked games in Apex Legends. Today's an extremely important episode because most players in Apex fall in that gold range. And you know what? We're going to break you guys out of gold. We're going to hit Plat. We're going to hit Diamond with you guys. And we're actually using Sith's gameplay here, a friend of mine in the Bearsden community Discord. If you're interested in learning and meeting other Apex players in the community, make sure you join. I'll post the link in the description below. So just an overview of Sith is he plays on PC with mouse and keyboard. The highest he's gotten to is platinum, and we are going to bust this man out of gold. We're going to get him to plat again, and we're going to get him to that diamond rank. So guys, let's get right into this video. Let's have a great time. And you know what? Hit that like, hit that sub button, and we're going to get you better at Apex Legends. All right, guys, let's do it. All right, so before we get started, I wanted to just make a critical point here that I want players in gold lobbies, I want them to be confident in taking fights and not necessarily play timid, because once you get up to those platinum and diamond lobbies, you're going to want to be confident in your 1v1 and be able to handle yourself. Now, what I want you guys to think about when you're playing gold is I want you guys to start thinking about your drops a little bit better and a little bit smarter. What you want to do is you do not want to drop too hot, and you also don't want to drop in the middle of nowhere. If you drop in the middle of nowhere, you're not going to have any loot, you're not going to be prepared to fight, you're not going to get early kill points. If you land too hot, you're going to die immediately due to RNG, and you're placing the odds in the game's favor. If you do not feel comfortable landing a certain place and do not know the ins and outs, then you're going to end up losing tons of RP, and you're not going to be happy about it. This is what your drops is going to resemble.
Snooky. Do work!
What you want to do is you want to pick a couple spots and you want to make those your own. Try to land in like a triangle formation so that you have people on the right, left, middle. That way you guys can rotate however you can to help each other out if need be. Another huge tip with ranked games is you want to get your initial kill points very early, because you will not be third-partied very early in the game because everybody's busy looting. So the actual best way to kind of level up later on in ranked is land in, grab some quick loot, and kill that team that's very close to you because you won't get third-partied. So they all kind of landed in a straight line. I know they have a random on their team and he's playing with a duo, but not too bad of a landing here. There's an R301 there. I would have picked up the R301 and dropped that RE45 for sure. The R301 is definitely one of my favorite guns. That thing is a laser beam mid-range. Alright, somebody up top with a Havoc. I don't know if that guy just landed up there off drop. Guy's a weirdo. Oh, dip, duck. Duck and dodge. The 5D's of dodgeball, baby.
If you can dodge traffic, you can dodge a ball.
So there again, I don't know why he didn't pick up the flatline. The flatline, guys, is actually really solid. I would say the flatline is probably B+, maybe A tier weapon. Very good at close range, pretty solid at mid range, just a little weird recoil. But he has an RE45 and there's two light weapons. I would hold on to the alternator and flatline here. Alright, there's a G7 scout here as well. So just loadout, like thinking about your loadout, you have two very similar weapons, alternator RE45. Drop one of those out, grab that scout, and then you'll at least have long, medium range, and a close range weapon. At this point, you guys are taking a lot of time to kind of grab all your loot, right? You guys all have very good armor. I'm pretty sure your guys' armor is going to be better than that other team's. As you can see, you're down to 16 squads left in the game. I feel like you guys probably needed to have a little bit more team cohesiveness and pushing of this team and get this fight started a little bit earlier. That way you're not as prone to get third-partied by another squad. Because the longer the initial drop goes on, the more likely that when your fight's over, you're going to get third-partied. Nice shots, nice shots. I like the revive. I like it. Clutch lifeline. Okay, I want to re-look at that fight for a second. So I like that you ADS because you're struggling with the hip fire. Obviously, start with the hip fire, just like you did. I think that at that range, you want to be agile. You want to hip fire. And then you weren't really hitting shots with the hip fire, so you did end up ADSing and getting some shots on, which I liked. Missing the hip fire, ADS, crack shields. Now, the time that it takes for you to reload this alternator, you could have switched to your RE45 faster and then probably have gotten this kill. It doesn't really matter right here because your teammate's here to clean up. But say it's a 1v1 to win for your squad. I think that you need to be a little bit quicker on going to your secondary. Don't necessarily always wait for that reload time because that's critical time you're wasting that you could be finishing off the enemy with your secondary. The fancy stuff you can do with the mouse and keyboard. You can walk up to a loot box, opening it in lava, and back up to safety. Man, it must be nice. I would have burnt my ass trying to pull that off. Alright, so there's a couple teams fighting down there. What I want to do in this situation is I want to calculate how many teams there are. Because right now, obviously you hear there's at least 2 teams. Go ahead and try to find out before you just jump down in there. Find out if there's another extra team as well or if more people are rotating over to join the fight. Okay, so you guys figure out that there are 3 total teams here, okay? Now let's watch what they do with these 3 teams in the area. Now he said he wanted a third party these teams from the back, so let's see. What I would do is I would drop down right here at this location and push in through this way because you can hear the shots are going on inside this main building, right? You guys got sniped from up the hill this way, more east on the map, okay? So you're furthest away from this third team over here if you go down through this entrance. I would probably have at least 1 or 2 go straight through here, maybe 1 guy go around the side this way, or maybe out through the side this way. So there's even people on the train right now, on the train tracks. So what they ended up doing is they actually ended up placing themselves kind of in the middle of just all the mayhem, all the chaos. You guys would have been the most safe dropping down from the other position and then kind of clearing it out from the opposite direction. And this is one thing that you need to do as the ranks and the levels get higher is you have to think to yourself more, do we want to initiate in this fight? Because you don't have to initiate in every single fight in the game, right? Now with 10 squads left and there being 3 teams around, this is a risky fight to take, but you can take it a little bit smarter. And that's one thing that you guys need to kind of think about when you're about to take fights is the best positioning that you can have in order to win this fight. You guys dropped right next to the other team approaching, which means that the team from the inside could end up kind of coming around and you being sandwiched in between 2 teams. Wait, you never want to be sandwiched between 2 teams. All right, so there's a team fighting inside right now, okay? You can hear those shots. There's people rezzing inside. Everyone's dead on that team, right? And what he does, they're all looting. They're in there reviving teammates. He's grabbing a wingman. Instead, they're giving their team time. They're giving that enemy team time. So they end up coming out on top in that fight because they are very weak. But high-level players, high-level gameplay, they are going to do a better job at trying to get out fast. You guys gave that team a lot of time to kind of recuperate, revive, heal up. You guys were looking in a box for a Wingman when you knew that there was a team in there that just got done with their fight. Push them immediately because that makes it so much harder on them and it makes it easier on you. And if you get third partied now, you guys are much more prepared because that squad wipe just was so much quicker. Let's listen to him.
Just goes whenever it next comes in.
There's a care package behind, like in the tunnel.
Yeah.
There's a care package behind / in the tunnel. Now, care packages come from the sky. I don't know if they got horizontal packages now. Teleports on there. They're going to investigate. They're going to investigate the mystery care package inside the tunnel. It's not there. What do you know? There's nothing there. There's nothing there. So, guys, the care package was where this ping is. It's actually next to Harvester, just so you guys know. There's not going to be care packages that come inside the tunnel. Instead of just running back in there, the Wraith wastes the portal and the phase, the Q, to get to the middle of the tunnel, which they might need here in a second, right? So they do see enemies right in front of them. Again, they're in a tough spot. They have to come out of the tunnel. And you know what? What is a great ability? One of the best repositioning tools or abilities in the game, and that is a portal. And that's why you don't waste your portal just to walk back away that you came from. So instead of being able to portal out and maybe go underneath into the structure beneath them, they have to kind of fight their way through it. Me personally, with the Wingman, I like the one-times and the digi-threat. Those are pretty much the only two sites other than just the standard base sites that it comes with that I use with the Wingman, primarily because of the kick. When you use this bruiser, for some reason, when you're using the Wingman, when you shoot it, it kicks super high, and it's very difficult, at least for me as a player, to hit my shots with a 2-times on the Wingman. I don't know. You might have been better off there with the 1-times HCOG. I would just try that in the firing range and see if you like it. So somebody has a Kraber, which is risky because you guys don't really have cover here. That guy just shot his Kraber again. You guys need to get down beneath and go to the right. You could have just probably dropped from the right side there and directly got in. So this is where I want you to always try to keep track of teams. That looks like a team of 3 behind you. So there's you guys, which is a team of 3. There's a team of 3 that way. And we need to find, there's other teams fighting that way, okay? So you know where everyone is. There's 2 teams in front of you, and there's a team behind you, and you guys are in this building. Now, you guys are pretty much in the worst spot you could be right now, but there's nothing you could really do about that. You're literally sandwiched between all the teams. You got the team behind you in sorting, and you had these 2 teams fighting towards Harvester. Now, towards Harvester, there's going to be a team that is not full 3-man, so we'll have to go from there and see what happens. So you could hear the audio cues. There's a Wraith that pulled up with the portal outside.
Someone above me?
Yep, you guys just got to hold this position right now. Now, what I was saying before, the portal would have been nice here. Maybe he could have portaled in maybe towards Harvester and seen if it was a safe location to get into. That portal actually kind of cost you guys in this situation, looking back. So you come around the corner. You did ADS. Your shots were decently accurate. Hip fire location, sort of right there. I would have recommended starting with the hip fire and then ending with the ADS, but you got the job done. But notice that there's a Gibraltar ultimate going down, right? Now watch what Sith does. Instead of running back towards the cover, Sith goes outside. There's no cover out here. You're gonna get hit by this ultimate. It's gonna hurt. And right here, you see this player up here. I know you see him. There's a shot going off, okay? You get hit. Oh, he misses that shot. And I personally, I would just run. Like, I would stop the heal and just run. And instead, you rely on him not being that good, which he's in gold, so he ends up not being able to fry you. If this is a diamond lobby, he misses that sniper, he switches to like a R301, and you get knocked immediately while you're trying to take the battery. So here, Lifeline doesn't have fast heals anymore. I would have just stopped the heal and ran around the corner. So there's somebody inside right there that you see.
There's one inside.
She's got a Prowler, which is pretty scary. That's one of the best guns close range. You guys are getting sniped from behind. But if we go back, Sunlight knocks Boogie Mania on one team, right? And then you turn this corner and you knock the Lifeline, right? And the ultimate is coming down from Gibraltar. So there's only one teammate left on that team that you just knocked. Likely that portal is taking them back towards Harvester. You all are all three decently healthy. I would at this point call out portal. Everyone take the portal. Go in that portal. You guys just push in there. I think you would have better positioning and you would be able to get out of that middle ground position where all those teams are closing in on you. All right, so I noticed that they like to go Refinery a lot. Like I said, pick a couple places in the game that you guys as a team like to land. Have a strategy, okay? I actually did a strategy about the sorting facility building, which literally is Refinery, back last season that still would be fine today for you to check out. Even in that video, I talk about where every character and where every player should land in order for everybody to disperse and get all the loot really quickly. So what you can do here is you can cut off the other team's loot supply if you sort of land and cut them off and end up looting the rest of the area. Practice landing at certain places that maybe there's going to be one team there and you guys are going to be so confident because you land there every single time that you guys are going to be able to win your fights more so than not, and you're going to be able to know exactly where all the loot spawns and the best places to look. So when landing here, I like to have one person land in the top left, one person land at the top right, one person land at the bottom here. He can loot the bottom here, you guys can loot the top here, and then kind of all meet down in the middle. So since both of your teammates are on this side, Sith, what I recommend is coming down this way, right? You see that there's no gun here, okay? Turn back around. You guys are here. They are looting this. You guys are talking about how you can't find weapons, right? Turn around, go the other side, which you came through. Come back up these stairs and go around the opposite way. Check those stairs and see if there's a weapon there. That way you guys aren't all looting the same exact area. Also, when you come down here, you notice that this loot bin is open, so there's not going to be any loot here. You notice that these two loot bins are open straight ahead. There's a little hole in the wall to your right that you can go that usually has a couple weapon spawns. There could have been a gun back there for you. Instead, you go up to the blue container and see what meds you can get from it, which isn't going to help you in this situation, right? So you notice there's two people here. This bin is open. I don't recommend going to that. So, like I said, go back in this little container back here. There's a good chance there's a weapon spawn back here. There's a good chance there's a weapon spawn back here. Instead, you come up here.
Behind.
You try to punch this guy when you can see there's weapons right in front of you, dude. There's a, I don't know, a Havoc, which is good close range. There's an R99, which is good close range. Might have been able to pull this off if you just ran straight up here, grabbed the guns, maybe got high ground right here, peeked this corner, started shooting some shots. Instead, you kind of go down with a fight. I like the effort, but yeah, try to just be smarter with your looting next time. Cut off their loot supply. Have your team practice looting in certain areas. When you get the hang of certain areas, trust me, you will notice a big difference. And you'll kind of end up feeling like the kings of Refinery if you guys end up making that your spot and end up being very, very good at it. Now, later on, when you're hitting Diamond, you're hitting Masters, you're losing 48, you're losing 60 RP a game. So you cannot afford to lose that first fight ever. So you need to get somewhere that you know you can own it with you and your teammates. All right, let's see how they do with this fight right here. I don't know what he was doing, but you guys lasered that man. Laser beams, team shot. Focus fire in this game is actually super critical. So with that knock that they just had, that is so important. Now they have the numbers. They have a 3v1 with the Revenant ult. So essentially Revenant's like 2 people. So they're literally up numbers huge here. And that's going to pay off in this fight. So guys, make sure you guys are focusing teams. Make sure you guys are focusing targets together. Knock down that lifeline first. If you can, try to laser that lifeline. Then they're not going to get those reses. They're not going to get those easy revives. And you guys are going to dominate. All right, so Gibby drops his bubble here. Hit fire. Nice. Now, Gibby with the Mastiff is OP, guys. If you play Gibby, use a Mastiff, use a Wingman, use a single shot weapon somehow that allows you to jiggle peek. And that's what you do with your bubble. You jiggle peek into your bubble, you shoot. You jiggle peek out of your bubble and shoot. Just like we talked about in that last video. Now, if you use a fully automatic weapon like an R99, it's much more difficult to get that critical blow and win that fight. So, he does a very good job here. Watch this, guys. Switches to the Wingman. Hip firing, jiggle peeking. Perfect. Perfectly executed there. You can tell that Sith's been watching the bronze gameplay and the silver gameplay with me talking about the jiggle peek, baby. Good play, good play. I wouldn't have stayed still that long. You're staying still for a while, but good headshot. Try to sprint. I usually sprint, jump, and take bats. And like literally boost off of ledges like while you're healing to get you more distance. So you know you have a 3-man over there, right, at the circle building. You have at least a 2-man over here. And then there's most likely, because from your back and on the left side, there's not a team there. So most likely the other team's in around sorting facility. Okay, so you always want to be thinking and placing where those teams specifically are in your head when there's about 5 teams left. That way you can position yourself the best out of all those teams in order to win the game. All right, so somebody just revived. If you look on your map, that's the one that I believe is in the canyon. It's not the one right next to you. So you got to know that there's somebody in that canyon right now and get to moving. All right, so looking at the situation, that team is still over here on the right. Your team from this building moved over here towards the zone on the left. And then again, we thought there was a team maybe down this way, or maybe they moved up over here after the revive. You want to try to be placing where every team is. Nice. I don't know why the Wraith was trying to take a bat while she was getting shot at, but nice. Yep, push up with your teammates. Stick hip to hip. Stay close together. Stay close. Play off of them. You're letting him know you're healing. That's good, so he knows not to be completely aggro. Good team. Good backup. Good backup. Cracked him. All right, now push up. You push up on the left. You saw that guy pushing up from the left right here. All right, you got this Revenant here, right? Hip fire. Nice, nice. Switch to the Wingman. Like we talked about earlier, be confident in that secondary that you have. I mean, I know you're close range, but you can switch to that, and you could probably one-tap him with it really fast, and he probably wouldn't be able to get down to the ground here. Now, what do you think's the smart play here? Okay, your teammate's here on the cliff with you, right? You're up on the cliff. You know there's a team over this way, and you know there's a Gibby bubble across the way, right? You can see the Gibby bubble as well. And you drop off the cliff. You got way too hungry for this kill here. And then that team ends up just griefing your fight. You should have killed that Revenant. But you know what? You guys would have been fine if you guys would have kept that high ground. I think you guys got way too aggressive for the kills. Play the positioning there. Play the map, okay? Pull up here. Look at you guys. You guys are right close to zone, right? You got the high ground. You see the Gibby bubble over here? Your teammate is still on high ground here. You're practically almost in zone right here, okay? You don't have to give up this positioning. Yeah, you didn't have to give up your positioning here at all. You gave it up way too early. You still had the round or the ring closing in. So yeah, just play it a little bit slower. Don't get so zeroed in on that kill. So guys, quick summary of the video of the tips that we discussed. Main tip number 1, make sure you guys are practicing landing at 1 or 2 specific spots where you and your teammate feel super confident landing there. Make sure it's not too hot, it has decent amount of loot, and that you can win your fights when you land there. Tip number 2, positioning. When you're approaching a fight, set yourself up in the best positioning. If you're third partying someone, make sure you third party from the safest side. Also, don't loot in boxes when there's people that are healing right next to you that you could third party. And then main tip number 3 is, you seem a little bit timid in your fights. Be confident. Seth, you got great skills. You've got good mechanical skills. You can win your fights, and you know you're a smart player. You can play very well. Just be confident and go into your fights knowing that you're going to win them, all right? Finally, number 4, that jiggle peek method, especially for the Gibby bubble. Make sure you're jiggling in and out, and it's very useful to have a massive or a single shot weapon to hit your shots when you're using a Gibby bubble or when you're fighting a Gibby inside of his bubble. Sith, you did a really good job at that. I'm super happy with that. So guys, that wraps up the video. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe for the next video coming to the series, and you know what? We'll see you guys on the next one. I'm Grizzy, and I'm out. Peace.